The next top story is Bitcoin Jungle needs buyer adoption, not merchant adoption. This is from Nout, 34 comments, 7,625 sats, Bitcoin territory. I haven't seen a Nout post in the top 5 in a really long time. It's been like a year. So that's cool to see. What's this about, Ted?
This is about Uvita, Bitcoin Jungle. One of the most amazing places. So people don't probably know who I am, but I did a lot of traveling to all these different Bitcoin locations, just mostly to events and different places. And Uvita was one of the most special.
How do you say that again?
I think I'm saying it right. Uvita, U-V-I-T-A. It's an expat community. A lot of Canadians down there, people from different places. I just thought it was one of the most special communities I have ever been. I've never experienced a vibe quite like that. Back in the old days, I was like a Bernie Sanders guy, hippie, no shoes, went to a lot of permaculture events. And in Uvita, I actually saw this interesting merger of almost like the permaculture, like they had a lot of yoga classes, art, you can see here. And they somehow merged that with Bitcoin kind of anarcho-capitalist culture. And it's really beautiful, amazing place. And you have this app there called SynPay. And, taxi cab, everyone will take SynPay app, and I can pay them in whatever currency. So you have 3 options: Bitcoin, US dollars, and Costa Rican dollars, which apparently doesn't have a very bad inflation rate. So they don't really care. They're like, as long as I'm getting paid through the app, it's all good. But the point that this makes is that the merchants are all on board with Bitcoin. No wonder, because they want money from tourists probably. But if you actually scroll up there, just a half a page, it says it's behind your video camera. So if you scroll down a little bit further, right there, it says only around 10% of people pay with Bitcoin, while 95% of the sellers accept. But frankly, I think that's amazing. 10% of people paying in Bitcoin is unheard of, I think, in any other community. So
that makes a lot of sense. So this is in Costa Rica. Where else did you go?
No, I think I've been in that second picture. I think I was there.
You've been here? Okay.
Yeah, I think there was someone selling, I don't know if I can say this online, but they say they can sell almost anything they want down there. Very anarcho-capitalist.
Did you, and you're able to scan just like using a wallet? And it's an easy process?
Yeah, exactly like Venmo, Cash App, through the app. Super easy, linked to your phone number. You do need to have a local's phone number there. That's the only thing. And, you have to operate it in that country.
Why do they call it the jungle? Is there other things around the jungle, or is it just all in a jungle?
It's a jungle.
Like an actual jungle that they live in?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a dense jungle, but maybe if you go further south, then it'll be an actual jungle.
But is there like a city around there, or is it just...
No, I don't. The main city, I would say, is about 2.5 hours away, drive.
So how would you describe it? It's like...
Amazing. It is. They're like dirt roads, like jump in the Jeep, go down to the beach, start a bonfire, no police anywhere.
Interesting.
Just amazingly good vibes, good energy.
So it's basically like The Beach, the movie The Beach.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so they had some interesting ideas in this article.
What was the ideas?
So they're like, how do we spur buyers, consumers using Bitcoin? So one of the things they had success with was an in-person Bitcoin kiosk, I guess, an office they'd go up to, and they would explain, if you're a buyer or a seller, how to get it set up on Bitcoin, what is it, how does it work. I think that's great, having that physical presence. And then they talked about some other ideas here, like brochures, billboards, discounts. I think that's all great too. I guess the big thing that stood out to me from this conversation was how amazing it is that 10% of people are spending Bitcoin. I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment, and it always can be higher. And I love the in-person, physical office concept. I think that's huge.
To this day, I think I've only seen 800 people use Bitcoin for the food trailers that we had for that block party in 21. That was the only time I've ever seen that many people actually use Bitcoin all at once. That was through the Oshi app. But that was like 3-4 years ago. And then after that one evening, I think most of the people stopped accepting Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. It is pretty incredible to have like at least 10% of that in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, my experience was get in the cab, pay for. I think I paid for my hostel with Bitcoin. Everything is Bitcoin, and it's not the way people think about it down there. Is they're just getting paid through the app. They don't care what currency it is. Those are the three options. They're probably going to be converting a lot of that just to Costa Rican dollars, I'd imagine. But they think of it like the app.
Like peer-to-peer.
They don't think of, oh, it's Bitcoin currency or U.S. currency. It's just, how am I getting paid? I'm getting paid through the app? Okay, we're good. Otherwise, it's cash pretty much.
Yeah, the top comment was from Team of Pleb. This says, what has stunned me sometimes is that some Bitcoiners go to the orange pill local businesses and never go there themselves to spend sats. Then after 6 months during travels, you find the business on BTC map, but the places stopped accepting Bitcoin because nobody wanted to pay with it.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. That's why I think it works more for peer-to-peer people. Like here in Austin, like I think most of the pedicabs accept Bitcoin, and then most people you run into probably have a Bitcoin wallet.
So, you think so?
I think so. I think I would be shocked if most people didn't have a Bitcoin wallet.
I don't know if I believe that. I mean, most people,
because most people have Cash App.
Most people, a lot of people have Cash App, but I bet you it's not even most people have Cash App. I mean, I was talking to someone the other day.
Doesn't PayPal and Venmo have Bitcoin now too?
They do, but you have to KYC. You have to enable it. So it's not.
So you think maybe they just haven't done that?
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean,
I bet you could go outside to like a person and say like, hey, I want to give you Bitcoin, and then do you think they would say yes?
I think they would say yes, but I don't think they would know how to accept it. I think most people. We're still pretty early, It's crazy to think about that we're still early after all this time, but we are. People don't have this stuff. Maybe a lot of people have Bitcoin, in PayPal or whatever, but have they set up a Bitcoin wallet?
No.
Or did their friends send them Bitcoin?
That's why I think they probably could receive Bitcoin, maybe like through these apps they already use. They just don't know it's buried in there. Maybe.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
I agree with that.
We got Saunter with another comment. He says, we have too high supply of merchants compared to the number of Bitcoiners that are willing to spend Bitcoin. That applies to almost all Bitcoin circular economies. What we need long-term to do is kill the hodl, don't spend meme. There are Bitcoiners living in those communities and not spending Bitcoin at all. What do you think about that?
This is obviously a opinion that a lot of people have, right? And I just don't think that it's that Bitcoin needs to be spent all the time. I mean, I just don't think that is an intrinsic. Houses aren't spent all the time, right? You buy a house and now it's a store of value and you can live in it. That's an added bonus. But there's tons of shacks that are broken down.
Yeah.
So people are clearly parking value. They're using the real estate concept to store value. Like storing value is a use case. So this sentiment was discussed quite a bit. And, the counter argument is that you can't even have a store of value if there's not some way to transact it. The sort of distinction that I would make in this discussion is, does something need to be transacted or does it need to be transactable, right? And so I actually think that a store of value, like transactability, is important for a store of value. But the fact that it is being transacted is more important for medium of exchange because that means it's widely accepted. Right. So obviously you want both, but we all know Bitcoin has scaling limitations, right? So does Lightning for now. So because of that, I think those high value transactions are probably the ones that are more likely to be used with Bitcoin. And that's basically adhering more to that pure store of value use case. So it's a legitimate sentiment. I don't personally agree with it. I think that store value is, in and of itself, a form of value. And this goes back to Nick Szabo's writings, Origins of Money. Plenty of methods have been used over time to store value, like a badge, for example, or a totem pole, or other ways that someone's indicated that I've contributed value to the tribe, but it's not necessarily a easily transacted type of thing, or even an often transacted thing.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where, I don't know, I feel like, for me, at least in my short time here, I feel like I've come to the realization, whether it's right or wrong, I just believe at this point that you need to just create more companies, more more projects, more use cases to spend that Bitcoin, better use cases. And then I think at some point, however long that takes, I think then it'll flip the switch. I do think in the future, though, I think everybody will accept Bitcoin, whether they don't now. I think that's an obvious thing because that'll just be a better form of money that they want. Whether they'll get it, that's a whole nother thing. So maybe we're seeing that already. Maybe this is how it'll always be. Maybe it'll only be like 10% of people. Yeah.
I hope not. I mean, if it's only 10% of people, it's definitely possible, right? That it could be just a subset of society are the Bitcoiners. I mean, it already is like that, right?
Right.
But,
yeah.
A subset of society. I mean, think about the unbanked of the world, right? So it's already a subset of society, has internet, has a banking system, has a democracy, right? So wouldn't be a new thing for there to be a human rights kind of equalizing system, but not all people get it. And I think that seems like the most plausible situation of Bitcoin. We do need more, though. We always need more. So this is fighting the good fight, right? Pushing, fighting adoption.
See, this lady's accepting Bitcoin right there.
Yeah, a basket of Bitcoin right there.
For some carrots and pineapple.
I'd buy a pineapple with a Bitcoin.
How much do you think that costs in sats?
10,000.
10,000 sats for that one pineapple? That's too much. Gosh, I wouldn't pay 10,000 sats for that pineapple.
1,000.
Oh, I'll give you 500 sats at best.
750.
No.
Oh.
See, this is why people don't. They put prices on it, and they're trying to barter. Bitcoiners are trying to barter with them, and they're like, no. But yeah, that was a good one. Are you going to go back to Bitcoin Jungle? Do you think you would go back? Yeah.
I never thought I would. I was like, why am I going to Costa Rica? My friend convinced me to do it. Simon from London. And he was like, you got to come down here. So I came down, and oh my God, definitely would visit again. Amazing place.
There you go. You heard it here first.